Hello all, welcome back to Trinity Software. Let's see about Python Counter class in this video. Python Counter is actually a container which holds the count of each of the elements present in the container. The container can be either a list, set, tuple or dictionary. We can define a counter as an unordered collection where elements are stored as dictionary keys and their corresponding counts are stored as dictionary values. So we can import this counter class from collections module. From collections, import counter. And this counter is a subclass of dictionary class. It means that the properties of dictionary class are inherited by the counter class. We can verify this with the is subclass method. Is subclass. First argument is the subclass to be verified counter and the second argument is the base class. So this will return true. And counter counts hashable objects in Python. This hashable object means that it has a hash value which will never change during its lifetime. Any immutable object like integer, boolean, string, tuple is hashable. That is, its value will not change during its lifetime. This counter class has a hash method and some other methods to compare with other objects. We can just check it using dir of counter. So these are the methods available in counter class. We have this hash method here and methods to compare with other objects like equal to, greater than and less than. And this counter elements counts can be either positive, 0 or negative integers. We can initialize the Python counter using two methods. First we have to import the counter class. The first method is you can either use the list, tuple, dictionary or string to initialize the Python counter. So let's start with the list. So just give c is equal to counter of list 10, 20. Okay, so now this C holds the elements as dictionary keys and their corresponding counts as dictionary values. So 20 is present 4 times, 10 is present twice, 30 and 40 one time each. Okay, so this can also take an argument like tuple or string also. The second way of initializing the Python counter is using keyword arguments. So this takes keyword arguments as input and will give the count of each element as output. An example is k is equal to counter, a is equal to 4, b is equal to 1, c is equal to 3. So this k as a counter, a's count is 4, c is present 3 times and b is present once. We have seen the methods available in Python counter using dir. Now we are going to see 4 most commonly used methods in Python counter. The first method is elements method. This will return all the elements with the count greater than 0. So elements with 0 or minus count will not be returned by this elements method. So let's take another example for keyword argument. Counter e is equal to 3, b is equal to 4, c 0 and d is equal to minus 1. Okay, want the elements, right? So c equal to c dot elements. We can retrieve elements one by one using the for loop. For I in c, I'm just going to print I. A is present 3 times and b is present 4 times. Whereas c is equal to 0 and d is equal to minus 1. Since the count is 0 and negative value, this is not returned by elements method. And the next method is most common with an optional argument value. So this method will return the most common elements from the counter list. So let's take a dictionary here. D is equal to counter 100 colon 5 54 150 colon 6. Fine. Use most common method mc equal to d dot most underscore common. An argument 1 here. So this will return the most common element from the counter. So the most common element in this is going to be 150 with the maximum count 6. So MC will return the element and their corresponding count. If I give this without passing any argument, then sorted dictionary will be returned. That is from most common to the least common element. So MC returns most common element. 150 is present 6 times, then 100 is present 5 times and 50 present 4 times. Okay. Then we have this update method. This method is used to add counts from another counter. Let me initialize an empty counter now. D is equal to counter without passing any iterable object. Okay. Now I am just going to call this update. I'll pass a string Trinity here. Okay, so now D is the counter object. Count of each and every alphabet is displayed. Now I can again update this by using update. I'm going to use keyword argument here. R is equal to 3. T is equal to 2. Okay, the count will be updated now. So D, now R is already it was 1. 1 plus 3 it became 4. And T already it was 1. 1 plus 2 and the count became 3. So this is the updated counter object. And subtract method is used to subtract element counts from another counter. Let's take another string. S is equal to counter ABC, ABC, AB, B. Yes, it returns the counts. Okay, now I am just going to subtract it as S dot subtract. A is equal to 2 and C is equal to 4 in this case. Now S will return. B's value is 4. A is 3 minus 2. We got 1. C is 2 minus 4. So they return a negative count minus 2. And we can perform arithmetic operations with Python counter. But the elements with the positive count alone will be returned with these operations. So if A and B are two counters, we can perform addition operation with this counters using A plus B. So let me take an example. A is equal to counter with keyword argument A is equal to 2, B is equal to 0, C equal to minus 1. Okay, and another counter B with some different values. A is equal to 1, B is minus 1 and C is equal to 2. Now perform addition of both the counters A and B. So C is equal to A plus B. This will return items having positive count alone. So C will return. So A is equal to 3. That will be returned. C 2 minus 1 will give you 1. Whereas B will give the negative count. So that will not be returned with this arithmetic operation. Similarly, you can also perform A minus B operation. So for the same values of A and B, we can just find D is equal to A minus B. The difference between subtract method and this A minus B is that this will not return the negative count. It will just return only the positive count. Also, you can perform intersection operation with this A intersection B. So this will return the common elements out of A and B alone. So A with the count 1 alone is common between the two counters. So that will be returned. Then A union B. A union B operation will give you the maximum element out of this. A is equal to 2 and C is 2. Since B is equal to 0 and B minus 1 both are 0 and negative counts, this will not be returned by this union operation. And we can also count occurrences of a particular word in the file in Python. Let me open a file using S is equal to open, which I have stored in D drive, D:/ with the name sample.txt. Okay, I am opening it in the read mode. Now I am just going to read the contents of the file. F is equal to s.read. Okay, so F contains the contents of the file. So this is the line which I have placed in the sample.txt file. And now I want to count the occurrences of each word in this particular file. So in order to do that, I am going to use the split method. Split method will split the string into a list. C is equal to F dot split. So C contains the list of words, right? Now we can make use of this counter class to count the words. Count the number of occurrences. So C is equal to counter of C. So I'm calling OCC. So leads is present 2 times, present 2 times, failure 2, and all the remaining things present once. That's it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, kindly share and subscribe.